Feminism is a topic that throughout our history has refused to die down, because no matter what improvements or privileges we've given to the fairer sex, no matter what rights or equality policies we have made, the patriarchy still refuses to die, and this becomes this. But it doesn't have to be that way. By reading one of the early influential feminist writers of the late 18th and early 19th century, we have compiled a list of 15 easy tips that you can use to become an awakened, unrepressed woman today. First, realize that you respect your husband only because you are supposed to. In the novel, you see Edna there being like, "Oh yes, I adore my husband," but did she actually? No. 2. Realize that you are being suppressed by your role as a wife and mother. Even at the beginning, Edna realizes that she doesn't actually like being a mom. Sometimes she thinks that her kids are cute or whatever, but the rest of the time she'd really rather go hang out with her friends or something. 3. Refuse to sleep inside your house and sit outside until it gets too cold for you. Especially refuse if your husband is saying, "Hey, it's kind of cold outside, why don't you, go to bed, like where it's warm." See, you cannot give in to even the little things like that, because then you're just a submissive doormat kind of wife. 4. Stomp on your wedding ring and smash a glass vase. Edna gets the false idea later on that that was childish, but no, actually that was one of the critical things that helped her get awakened, was realizing that this ring, notice I do not have one, this ring symbolizes these chains and these cages that you see from the very beginning of the book. 5. Develop a crush on a younger man who's not your husband. That not your husband part is critical. If you were to actually start loving your husband, that would be becoming weak. And so you must find someone who's not him, and then wildly pour your entire self without abandon into him, and make him be your entire life so that nothing else even matters to you anymore. 6. Go into a depression when said man leaves town. He has to be the center of your life. Otherwise, you're just falling under the traps and the cages of marriage. You've got to be free. 7. Stop doing any housework, and make sure to leave your house every Tuesday when it will upset your husband most. You don't have to have a reason. In fact, the less of a reason you have to leave your house, the better. 8. Beg for news about the younger man who you have a crush on. When you notice that he's actually not sending you letters all the time, you really just, because you cannot exist without him, you need to just beg all of your neighbors, "Have you heard from him? Have you heard from him? I miss him." Oh! 9. Have an affair with someone else who you're not even in love with. See, this is how you really express your freedom, is by when you can't get along with the fact that that guy you have a crush on isn't here, then go find someone else to bide your time and satisfy you right now. And especially you know that it's a good man to have an affair with if he is extremely manipulative and crosses all of your boundaries, and when you ask him to please leave and go home, he instead just tries to push the envelope more and more and more and do things that you're uncomfortable with. 10. Abandon your children, move out of your house, and rent the unoccupied house owned by one of your neighbors. How can you see who you yourself are unless you live entirely and exclusively for yourself? 11. Develop disgust for women who like being moms. There is no way to be a better feminist than to be completely ashamed of everything that people normally think of as being feminine. So if people normally think of feminine traits as loving your kids, then get rid of the kids. We really need to actually just try to be men. 12. Try to push away the man you're having an affair with once your crush comes back to town. And especially if you happen to have a photograph of that guy that you don't actually like, but you've been playing around with while your crush is gone, you need to downplay that and make it seem like, oh no, that was nothing. And really, I mean, why would it matter anyway? 13. Give in and spend time with him when you don't get to see your crush often enough. That is the only way to prove that you are properly independent and strong, is that when your heart is pining after this man, to give in and, oh, go out with the manipulative one because I don't even know what to do with my life anymore. 14. Confess your undying love to your crush and make out with him for a long time. Once you do this, all of those cages of marriage will just disappear. And you will even know, what I really want to do is go get married to this guy. And no, of course, that marriage wouldn't be a cage. 15. Hopefully, if you've tried these other 14 tips, you have become an unrepressed, independent, awakened woman. But if in the case like Edna, these things haven't really worked out for you yet, the final solution, and this one is foolproof, is commit suicide. Especially if your crush leaves again because he knows that you're already married, then the best way is to prove your strength, your great womanly strength, by stripping naked and swimming into the ocean until you lose all of your strength and you die. If you don't have an ocean nearby, then a bathtub or jacuzzi will work in a pinch. Well, there you are. There are our 15 foolproof ways to become a strong, independent, unoppressed, awakened woman, according to Kate Chopin's Awakening. So I hope that you shake off the patriarchal shackles today.